Dude, you are about to become one of the most hated creatures on planet Earth. Yeah, that thing buzzing in someone's ear at 2 a.m., that's you. Eventually. But right now, you're not even alive yet. You're an egg. A tiny, football-shaped egg floating on some gross standing water. And here's the wild part. Your shell is basically built for survival.
It can survive months of drought, baking in cracked mud, just waiting.
Then, one day, rain falls, water rises, and that's your cue. Your shell cracks open and you wriggle out into the water. Congratulations! You're now a larva, or as scientists lovingly call it, a wiggler. You breathe through a little tube on your butt that pokes above the water. You spend your days doing basically one thing, eating everything around you. Algae, bacteria, decaying leaf bits. You're not picky, man. But it's not all buffet time. A diving beetle just showed up, and it wants you dead. You panic, wriggle out of the way, barely. Whew, close call. You shed your skin and get a little bigger, a little tougher. You molt a few more times, and then something weird happens. You curl up into a comma. You're a pupa now, a tumbler, basically a mosquito in a cocoon, floating. You can't eat anymore, but you can still tumble away from danger. And then, quietly, underwater, your whole body starts rearranging itself. Your shell splits open, and you drag yourself up onto the water's surface, soaked, crumpled, alive. Your wings unfold and dry out in the warm air. And then you fly, for the first time ever. You land on a leaf to rest. You're fragile right now. An easy target. And speaking of targets, there's a spider 10 centimeters away. And it just noticed you. You dodged just in time. Day 1, and you've already almost died twice. At dusk, something pulls you toward a bush. A swarm, all males, hovering together. Their antennae are literally tuned to detect the sound of a female's wing beats. And yeah, turns out you're a female. That's about to matter a lot. You fly into the swarm, and one of the males peels off to meet you midair. You mate in flight in like a few seconds. Very romantic, very efficient. And here's a wild fact. You now have enough stored sperm for the rest of your entire life. One and done. You never need to mate again. A few nights later, your antennae start twitching. You're sensing something. Carbon dioxide. Somebody's breathing, and you can smell it from way farther than you'd think. You lift off and start tracking the trail through the dark. Body heat, skin bacteria, sweat. You're basically running a full scan on this person. They have absolutely no idea you exist yet. You land on the back of their ankle. Silent. Weightless. A ghost. You unsheathe your proboscis, which, fun fact, is actually 6 separate needles bundled together. You probe around under the skin, hunting for a blood vessel. You inject saliva first! It keeps the blood from clotting while you drink. That saliva, by the way, is exactly why the bite itches later. You're welcome. Now you're drinking. Your belly stretches, turns bright red. And uh-oh, they just felt something. Their hand is moving. That hand is about to come down on you like a hammer. You bail out just barely, heavy and wobbling with all that blood. You literally cannot fly straight right now. You basically just ate a whole meal for your body weight. You land somewhere quiet to digest. This takes a couple days. All those proteins from the blood, they're turning into hundreds of eggs inside you. Once you're ready, you go find standing water again. Any puddle will do. You lay your eggs one by one along the water's edge. And just like that, the whole cycle starts again, with your kids. You rest for a few days, digesting, waiting. Then you get hungry again, because one blood meal is never enough. You find a new person, same silent routine. Land, probe, drink, dodge. Here's the part that's actually terrifying. If your last meal was infected, you just passed it on. Dengue, Zika, yellow fever. You're not trying to be a supervillain, you just are one. You repeat this loop over and over. Feed, digest, lay eggs, rest, feed again. It's honestly kind of exhausting when you say it out loud like that. One evening, a gecko creeps up the wall behind you. You feel the vibration and bolt just in time. Your wings are getting a little tattered now. Weeks of near misses do that. Truth is, you were never built to last long. 2, maybe 3 weeks, tops. One quiet morning, a shadow passes over you, wings glinting in the sunrise. A dragonfly. And this time, you don't get away. That's it. That's the whole ride. But back at that puddle, your eggs are already floating on the surface. And right now, in puddles all over the world, this exact same story is happening thousands of times. Tonight.